Hi, this is Iris, and welcome to Parapopulous. In this week's episode, Ghostly Grog. So, this initial incident took place on October 15th, 2015. It was reported about on November 4th of 2015, and I wrote the article on my blog on May the 5th of 2016. Yeah, we're spanning some time, but you know what? We're making our own history, right? So, what this is the White Line Inn in Yateley, Hampshire in the UK. Apparently there's more than a few spirits there, not of the alcoholic variety. And this particular one involved an alarm system that went off, and the people working turned to look to see what's going on. Is there somebody up there that shouldn't be? What's setting this off? And what they saw looked sort of like smoke. And it looked like a hooded figure going across towards the bathrooms. Now, this is not the only ghost they've ever seen or had incidents with. There is a ghost believed to be the original licensee of the pub, Mr. James Rogers, who had a particular tankard that he preferred. And this tankard, things are quite active around that as well. So, between him and our smoky figure, there's also believed to be a woman, which people aren't sure if this might be the woman or if this is someone else. But the alarms have gone off previously around the tankard, other incidents as well. And they've also had a glass flying off a shelf. And the manager lives on site. They really do believe that it is an actual thing. They feel the energy, the changes. And, look, let's just be honest. This is England. We're looking at how many years of habitability of people, of history and energy on top of each other. How can you not rule it out? If energy is always existing, if it never completely goes away, energy is infinite. There we go. I'll get the word out. Where does it go, right? So, looking at it just from that sort of a perspective, we really do have to account for something here. Now, people have said, okay, it's smoke or it's a bug in this particular incident that was caught on camera. Now, if it were smoke, to me, it would be drifting a little bit differently. And I would not assume that it would be setting off an alarm system. It should be not setting off an alarm system. Other than a smoke detector or something of that nature, but it doesn't really drift like smoke. And it would have, I anticipate, been in more of the frame. I know smoke does drift to a corner, so it is possible it found that corner, it liked it, and it wanted to stay there. I don't think it is. Is it a bug? Could it be like a spider that because it's right up close, the camera can't focus on it, and it's blurry, and it's like a little leg stretching across, and it's its body that makes it look like it's the head or something, or the hooded covered face. There we go. We'll go with that one. I don't know. I don't think, it's my famous thing. I love to sit here and say, I don't think so. I don't think so. It could be. But, I don't know that it would have had those kind of, I mean, depending on the angle the bug went across, maybe. Oh, and by the way, you can find the video and the link to the original article on the blog, which the link is going to be in the description. So please do go ahead and be sure to follow on whatever you happen to enjoy listening on. As a footnote while I think about that there. I don't know that a bug has, depending on the angle it got caught at. I mean, honestly, if it would give, I mean, it could, anything could give that impression. Let's just put that on the table. But it does so beautifully look like smoke. Well, let's call it smoke. It's not, and now it's not smoke, but like a fog. There we go. Let's go with that. Like a fog that kind of comes in, takes a form, and then it leaves. So is it the spirit gaining energy? So it comes in that sort of, not really a mass, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, and then gets enough to form its shape and move off. I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, if we're going to consider bugs and smoke, we might as well consider this as well. There's so many things. I mean, back in the day, a pub, there would have, I don't know if this one would have in particular had places for people to stay, but I mean, if you just think of back historical, a pub was like the center place, the meeting point. Business was conducted there of all kinds. A lot of them were important traveling stops for coaches. So you're getting a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot of things happening based on the fact that this would have been a momentous spot for all intents and purposes. Because these would have been, just major points, depending on if you were or weren't, a traveler, a local, a businessman, the pub owner, a working girl who knew that there were going to be people coming there with money. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities for energy being stuck or repeating. So, could this be sunlight? Could this be like sunlight reflecting off of something somehow? And if it were, let's say, smoke, if it were sunlight coming in the window at a particular angle, wouldn't this alarm be going off like all the time? The window is not changing. The height, depth, and all of that of the stairs aren't changing. So if there's any kind of a chance of smoke coming either in from the outside or from any kind of cooking or, humidity or things like that, wouldn't this be going off all the time? Because it should be, the sun's coming around essentially the same way. I mean, a few degrees difference because of seasonal changes and such. But, I mean, for all intents and purposes, nothing is changing there. So if these are things that are happening because of a repeatable possibility, smoke, humidity, sunlight, a bug, shouldn't this be happening more often? See, this is where I always kind of go with this kind of thing, is like, oh, well, it's this, it's that. Okay, if it is that, that's perfectly plausible, definitely a possibility. But if it is that, you're telling me that this is not going off at least once a week, at least once a month, in exactly the same spot, showing exactly the same conditions and exactly the same thing on that camera? So if it's not, Like, it happens. There's no rhyme or reason to when it happens. Doesn't that make it far more likely that this is a unexplainable or paranormal incident? Based on the fact that this is a business that runs, on a regular basis with conditions that really don't change. And this doesn't happen in exactly the same way on a regular basis. See, I got you with that one. Look, I'm not sure what it is. I'll tell you, to me, it looks like a misty, ghostly, hooded figure. I'm voting for that one this time. I really am. Why? Because I'm a believer? Maybe. But also because this just doesn't look like a bug. It doesn't look like smoke drifting, and it doesn't look like sunlight reflecting off of something. I'm no tech expert. I have never been to the place. I don't know any of these people. It could be a total hoax for all we know. But from what I see, I'm voting wicked. Well, not wicked, but I mean wicked in the sense of that's a really good hooded cloak. I wouldn't mind one like that. I do wander off, don't I? So if you ever are in or around the Yateley, Hampshire area in the UK, go check out the White Lion Inn, the White Lion Pub. I'm calling it an inn for some reason. Maybe it was at some point. I'm just bringing that with me. White Lion Pub, and let me know what you think. Tell me if you see anything or feel anything, or if there's something in your area that has paranormal incidents happening. And on that note, boo, we'll be back in a few. So I just wanted to take a second after the regular episode and say thank you to you guys. It's been an unattended break. I had a hard drive. My hard drive on my laptop died. So I was very lucky that I had backed up most of my stuff. Also very lucky that I have family who was able to help me out with getting that back up and running. And that sort of just makes me stress the importance of if you really do enjoy the blog or the podcast, please do consider becoming a Patreon. It starts at as little as $1 a month, and it really does play a significant portion in helping me keep the tech going. And also, we're going to be looking at needing to back up, or not back. Well, not. We're getting to a point with our storage for the podcast that we're going to need to start paying for storage. And I won't be able to fund that currently. So if you guys don't want to lose all the older episodes, it would be super amazing if maybe by becoming a patron, you could, that's going to go directly towards that. So you would be keeping those older episodes alive, not putting them behind a paywall for everybody. And that's something that would be amazing, and you should applaud yourself for that. And listen, I know it's not in everybody's budget. I know how things are, but I just thought I'd say, if it's something that you've considered, that would be a super, super time. In the meantime, listen, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow the blog over at parapopulous.wordpress.com, and be sure to follow along on whatever podcasting location you enjoy. We're on Google, we're on iTunes, and we're on Stitcher. So come find us, come back and hang out. Like I said, we'll be back in a few.